They form a good line, should catch them. He held them there, let them go now though. They're off and racing, and Flower of War sprung the gates with Free Trade into stride very quickly. Little Dacio had commenced well from the inside, and rushing up there through the first 200 now is Yeah Darty, being followed further back by Speeding Comet. Festival Miss pushing up near the middle, a length and a half to Star Glitter, who's back with Classic Pro. Flower of War led for Harvey at the 800, 3/4 of a length in front. Running second is Yeah Darty, and 2 lengths to the favourite Free Trade, who'd settled over on the outside of Festival Miss, which is kicked up for Pike, getting underneath it, and around the outside now going forward Speeding Comet as they near the 550. They're being followed further back by Dacio, Classic Pro in a tightly bunched up field between horses Star Glitter. Flower of War though with a head on a chest coming around the home corner. She's going sweetly at the top of the home straight, led by more than a length now to Yeah Darty. Pike searching to get clear with Festival Miss right behind them. Free Trade looked to be a shot duck. He'd lost touch with him. Speeding Comet runs on. Flower of War's the leader. Going past the 150. Pike gets off her heels with Festival Miss. Now Free Trade is starting to put his mind on the job. He might just get there yet. He dives. He does. He gets there, Free Trade. Oh boy, you would have been tearing up your ticket at the 250, but he found plenty to grab. Flower of War in the shadows of the post, and Festival Miss. Classic Pro close up as well, and Star Glitter followed by Yeah Darty, Dacio, and Speeding Comet is amongst the last of them home. Well, if you were on board and you were climbing on at the 185 late, you'd be nipping over to the bar for a stiff scotch to settle the old nerves, because that was anxious. Free Trade, he'd just dropped off them there. He couldn't get going, and then all of a sudden, with about 150 from the line, he really started to accelerate. He found a gear. He found it from somewhere, and got to Flower of War, Festival Miss, and has produced a wonderful performance at the end of it all to get home and score. By Trade Fair, a 5-year-old, Michael Lane breathes a little easier as well, owned by Pete Caporaro out of Lady Zena. Chris Parnham, the winning rider. He got there in the last bound or so. Flower of War had travelled so kindly to the bend. She was full of running. The Miller stable looking for a treble, but they've been knocked over late by Michael Lane's Free Trade, Festival Miss, who eventually got clear in the home straight to give chase. But it was the favourite at the end of the day that proved to be just a little too classy and game and brave, all of the above. Number 2 first, wins by a head, 3/4, second and third. And that time 1:11.70. They've run 35.46. Runner-up, Flower of War by War Chant out of Indian Flower, owned by Nev Bodica, Paul Harvey the rider. And third is number 5, Festival Miss, by Bernardini from Fortune Smiles for Grant and Alana Williams, owned by Peters Investments and ridden by William Pike. Well, to race 7, which is the running of the De Sonia Handicap over 1400, number 4, Distant Trilogy, the scratching there. Well, there's Pete Caporaro, the owner, heading down there with his old mate in Michael Lane, who prepares Free Trade. I'm sure they've had plenty to talk about in a short space of time after the victory, and would have been no doubt looking at each other saying, what about that? Let's go down to Brittany Taylor.
I think that is the overwhelming sentiment in the yard. What about that? The run home from Free Trade. Michael Lane, can you just detail how you were feeling, say, between the 400 and the 200 metres?
Look, I was obviously wrapped with the ride. I've been saying for a long time he's got to sit, and I think if we change that plan today, things what they've been trying to teach the horse have gone completely pear-shaped. So, if it for some reason that he got beat because he didn't get out, I wouldn't have been blaming Chris. That's just the way we wanted to ride him. So, I mean, I know it looked ordinary at the time, but it wouldn't have been the end of the world. He
got out, and the turn of foot he was able to show to the finish. You've had an opinion of this horse the whole way through, but gee, that was impressive.
Yeah, I always say, like, he really installs confidence.
What is it about this horse that makes you emotional here? It's been a long journey.
We won't go there.
All right, I know it's a very special horse to you. Congratulations, Michael.
Thanks, Brittany.
A very emotional win here of Free Trade. It's really great to see this horse be able to do what he was just able to do, Scott.
Certainly is, Britt. And I remember Michael Lane said one day, remember this boy, Chris Parnham, because one day we'll be talking about him in the same vein as a William Pike. And it's probably rides like that while to the eye, it was heart-stopping. But once he gets out, Chris can get as busy as anybody. And it was very good to see for Free Trade. And he might be something quite special.
He really showed that today. You could see Chris at the top of the straight just looking for where he was going to find his out. He had to come back a little bit to angle around heels, but as soon as he presented that horse into the clear, wow, he unloaded and finished absolutely full of running, and it was so great to see.
Certainly was. I'll grab Chris for a word now. Chris, I know that you're a professional at your game, but do you get like a heart rate coming up at the 400 there when you were looking around trying to find an out?
Oh, I just was focusing on the job, really, just trying to find a clear passage. But it took me a while to find that passage. But once I did, he exploded through like a good horse that he is.
When he finally got clear, did you think that you'd be able to run down Flower of War?
She kicked quite well, so I wasn't too sure. But he just kicked better today. So he just, obviously the other day, he had no luck at all, wide all the way. Today, he nearly had no luck for a completely different reason, but I think getting held up for that one run, he had a better sprint today.
What do you think will be his best distance range? We know that he's won over a mile last preparation, or at least stretched out that far for Laney. What do you think?
I think between 1,200 and 1,400 will be his pet distances. He can over-travel in his races. He's getting better as he gets older, but I think 1,400 is probably as far as he wants.
Congratulations, Chris. Well done.
Thank you.
Parnham and Michael Lane combine with Free Trade, a very deserving victory for the horse, taking out race 6.